Good morning, Arizona. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on your Tuesday morning. It's a very busy news day as we approach the 8:30 half hour. If you are just joining us, we want to let you know that we are on wildfire watch this Tuesday as the bushfire leading to evacuations east of the valley, and it is rapidly growing in acreage. Here is a view of the fire from our Lions Roofing news chopper that really shows you the scale of what is out there and what firefighters are going to have to be dealing with as they contend to try to address this by creating a fire line and also from above. So firefighters are struggling to get containment on the bushfire burning near the Tonto Basin. That's northeast of Fountain Hills. And we're now learning it's burned more than 64,661 acres, Scott.
That is a lot of acreage, no doubt. And of course, a lot of people have been forced to evacuate, but they can't exactly stay at a shelter overnight because of the coronavirus.
We have team coverage tracking these evacuations. Let's get to Kylie and Maria. They are both live near the burn areas this morning. And a better idea of where this fire is burning. There you go. Look at the map there. This is northwest of Saguaro and Canyon Lake. This is right along the Beeline Highway. It's the one that gets you up to Payson. So we start our team coverage with meteorologist Ian Schwartz, who is tracking this fast-moving wind, which is fueling these flames. And Ian, the update on the acreage that you just announced, 30 minutes ago. You know, a lot of times we see fires jump by a few thousand acres overnight. This is a massive increase.
Yeah, we're talking overnight about 30,000 acres. That is a huge amount, and the winds are going to predominantly move from the southwest to the northeast. So that's why places like Tonto Basin, Pumpkin Center are under mandatory, and then places a little farther to the north are under the pre-evac orders, because the northeastern flank of this fire is what they're really going to be watching closely. Let's take you to the maps here. You can see this is the latest perimeter of this fire, and you can kind of see new growth here on the northeastern and northern side. I kind of did some as the crow flies mapping to see how close this is. About 5 miles south of Sunflower, and it's about 6 to maybe 10 miles away from Pumpkin Center and Tonto Basin. And because of the wind direction, and they're going to be fierce, they're really going to be watching this area. It's chewing through the dense vegetation in the Four Peaks Wilderness area. It's different vegetation from when this fire first started as a grass fire at the lower, flatter elevations. Anytime you get into that mountainous terrain, it really changes the dynamic of the fire. We saw plume-dominant fire behavior. You saw that big mushroom cloud kind of storm-looking plume over the fire yesterday, and that just adds power, heat, erratic winds, and a whole host of problems. And I think we might be dealing with that again today. We're talking 90 to 100 degree temperatures. The humidity, of course, will be low. It is dry out there, and the gusts could get up to 35 miles per hour. So we're going to be dealing with some very gusty winds. Right now, the wind is already picking up. Maria had some video she posted on Twitter of gusty winds in Payson. I'm going to walk you through those winds and let you know how long they're going to last coming up in a bit. I want to take it to Kylie next. She is in Miami. It's traumatic dealing with an evacuation on a normal day, and then you throw in the COVID-19 layer. It's got to be pretty tough stuff. What are people feeling like up there, Kylie?
You know, I've had a chance to talk to some evacuees, and it's hard. It's challenging. I mean, you leave, and unfortunately, you're leaving all your stuff behind, and you don't know what you're going to come back home to. So let's walk you through the evacuation center, because it is definitely different. You've got the food and the snacks, but this is a place folks go for rest. It's not the typical shelter that you see. If we walk you in here, I mean, this gym typically would be full of those cots. There's nobody here. But the Red Cross says that they actually let one person stay here overnight because this man, he's legally blind, and he had 5 dogs, so they actually let him stay in one of the locker rooms right around the gymnasium here. His name is Daniel Murrieta. We just talked to him. He lives in the Tonto Basin. He is one of about 300 to 400 homes or so that has to evacuate. He says this was the first time that he has been through something like this. It was stressful. He has his dogs, and he didn't really know, obviously, what to do, but he wanted to grab his dogs, make sure that they were okay, get in the car, and he came down here. He says he's very concerned. Yesterday was very nerve-wracking. His anxiety obviously is very high, and it's scary too, especially because the fire is burning and it's not far from his home, miles away. Here is how he kind of describes how things were yesterday when he went outside and saw the fire.
All you saw was smoke and ash. That's it. Now, some other residents, they may have seen flames or something, but from what I could see, where I was a lot of smoke, a lot of ash, and at one point you could even smell the wood actually burning. That's how strong the smell was. You could be outside for like less than 2 minutes, walk back inside, and literally brush the ash off your arms.
So McDaniel says hopefully he can maybe continue to stay here in that locker room. Again, he was the only one here kind of in a separate area or with friends. So he is one of hundreds of people who are kind of scrambling. The Red Cross, they are able to provide and help some folks with lodging just because, they're not really staying here. So that's another tricky situation. And this fire, like Ian mentioned, growing to more than 64,000 acres. Coming up at 9 o'clock, we're actually going to talk to an official with Gila County who's going to kind of map out the concerns for today, where they saw the fire grow overnight. So look for that interview coming up at 9 o'clock as we continue to cover this fire. We're also covering the fire from the north end. So we're down south in Miami, and Maria Hachinova, she is live in Payson right now, which is kind of the northern part. Have you seen some evacuees kind of over in that area, Maria? What's it like from your vantage point?
Not quite yet, Kylie. And I think the challenge is here. These evacuees aren't sure where they can go. Some of them have trailers. Some of them may have a friend to stay. And then, like the person that you just interviewed, it's a challenge to try to track down all of these evacuees. So yes, we are here in Payson, where you can see behind me the flag blowing in the wind. The wind is actually picking up where we are located. The reason why we're here is if you see across the street, there is the ADOT truck there. They are blocking off State Route 87 because of the bushfire. So we're actually about 50 miles from where this fire started. And so this morning, though, I want to show you again all of that video, this incredible video. Right before 6 a.m., we saw the Prescott Hot Shot crew roll by us. The latest info we have is that there are more than 300 firefighters and support crews on this fire, but it sounds like they're going to need more help. I talked with a man who lives in Tonto Basin. His home is in the evacuation zone, and he took pictures of all of the ash. He was actually out of town when the evacuation was ordered and is concerned about his neighbors.
We have a large amount of elderly folks in the town. There's, a lot of people that can't afford to up and leave or aren't blessed enough to have friends in different places that they can go to. So a lot of livestock, a lot of cattle, a lot of horses.
So this is of Tonto Basin Marketplace, and you can see by that picture all of that smoke. The owner, Shelly, sent me photos of the ash on the ground that fell from the sky, but she tells me she is confident that firefighters will get this under control. But as of right now, we know no containment, nobody hurt, no buildings that we know of burned. But hundreds of people have been evacuated. And right now we are waiting to learn if Jake's Corner and Sunflower, if those who are under pre-evacuation orders there will actually have to leave today. Again, this fire exploded yesterday, doubling in size. And today, with these windy conditions, it is only telling what will actually happen today. So you can see again, ADOT turning people away. You're not able to get to Phoenix from this Payson State Route 87. So I want to send it over to Heidi, because Heidi, how do people get around this area? It's going to be quite the challenge, right? I mean, with State Route 87 closed.
Yeah, 87 is a pretty busy highway anyway, but especially this time of year when it gets so hot down here in the valley, a lot of folks just want to escape to the high country. Not going to happen right now, at least not that route. So the best advice we're giving folks is to take that 260 through Camp Verde and then pick up the 17 from there. It's going to take you a little bit longer and it's going to be crowded. So some extra time and some patience always a good idea. And the bushfire, not the only fire burning in our state right now. In southern Arizona, the Bighorn Fire, that's the one burning just outside of Tucson, and it continues to burn this morning. So here's some video showing airdrops on this one. At last check, this fire has grown to 14,000 acres and is 30% contained. There have been around 700 firefighters battling this one, and they say this was caused by lightning. So we'll be covering these fires, of course, throughout the day for you. If you need to step away from the TV, you can find everything you need to know that's available on our website, or be sure you download our free AZ Family News app.